Morning, everyone. First order of business is approval of the agenda as presented.
Move. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next item is opportunity for public comment on any items not on the agenda this morning.
See me, I guess.
Okay,
Hi,
good morning.
How are you?
Good morning.
Good.
You're welcome to sit in one of these chairs if you like.
Okay. Yeah, my name's Patty Blunt Tracy. I live at Richmond Lake. I wrote a letter. I don't know if anybody got to take a look at it yet.
Yeah, I was actually out there on Sunday.
Were you?
Yes.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you for coming out. I appreciate that.
Yes, morning.
Yeah. In the North Bay of Richmond Lake, it has been an issue for many years. I've lived in at 382-075 North Shore Drive for 16 years now, since 2005. Is that 16 years or 17 years? It's 17 years. And it just has been a continuous process of emptying into that North Bay from the farm fields across the road. And then even further than that, it's like a main tributary into Richmond Lake.
Wow.
And the farmer across the street, nice guy, does fine, but he has cattle across the street, and then across the street from that, he has, his farm, which has farm waste on it. So continuously over the years, we've gotten, his farm waste, we've gotten his cattle waste, and maybe even his chemical waste into our bay. We have, if you walk in that bay, my husband actually one time did get blisters from trying to swim in the bay, and we haven't done it since. And fishing in the bay, it was okay until that most recent storm, and now we had corn stalks just come right into the bay and just like, they were all over the place. I've got videos, I've got pictures if you want to see them, but most of them have sunk to the bottom by now. So it does create a hazard for us, but it's not just us, it's the rest of the lake, right, as well. So I just didn't know if coming to you first was the right question. You know what I mean? Like, do I go to the state? Do I go to the commissioners? What's my avenue to try to get our bay cleaned up is my biggest concern. It's been a concern for many years. I think I brought it up like 4 or 5 years ago. I've kind of let it slide. Kind of my bad. I probably should have stayed on it a little more, but life gets away, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's,
Well, we had a pretty severe rain event, and that
We-
kind of exasperates
and
things.
so, yes.
I've seen the
Yes.
video of the water running
You did.
over the road.
yeah, Paul Sievertson put that out, I think,
Yep.
one of the videos, pretty on social media. And I have other videos of the morning after where it's just corn stalks all over
Mhm.
the bay. But my biggest concern is feces, obviously, from the cow's manure. My other concern is chemicals, and then my third concern would be the farm waste as well. So I didn't know if we had to go that route of like water testing to make sure that water's safe, or if it's just something where we can try to get that bay cleaned up in some way, shape, and form. I don't expect an overnight response. I know it's a plan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I personally took a lap around the lake after church on Sunday, so I was there probably a little
Thank
early.
you for
I stopped by
doing
about
that.
11:30. I knocked on your door, and then I actually spent some time.
We were at church too.
Yeah, visiting with one of your neighbors about it. And,
Okay.
it's his is a private property situation, but it does contribute to some other things.
Right.
So I talked with Jeff a little bit and
Sure.
about some of the
Jeff
possibilities.
Brown?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, personally, and, some of the possibilities of perhaps working with James River Water, because I'm on that board, and we do those type of things where we put in holding structures where there's, unusually high runoff that will help mitigate both the flow as well as potentially some of the sediments that go into that if there's an opportunity for that.
Sure.
On a cooperative basis for the landowner to consider doing something, along those lines.
Mhm.
When it comes to the lake cleanup, a little bit, I've had conversations and through some of my experience on James River Water and just in the past, with the lakes that we have, that we have some contact with here, Elm, Richmond, Mina, some of the rest of that, but also even, the big dams on the Missouri River. It's like, what was the plan when they built these structures, you know, because they will sediment in and so forth. And I've
Right.
gone back and done some research, and frankly, there was no plan. I mean, it was, we're gonna build these structures to try and mitigate some flooding and some of these kind of issues, and we're gonna guarantee they're gonna be good for 50 years, and we're gonna be gone. So,
Mhm.
y'all are gonna have to figure it out after that. So that's
Mhm.
kind of where we're at with some of those things, so it is an issue
Sure,
that needs to be dealt with.
okay.
But as far as the county having the expertise or the you know, the authority to make some changes, we have to tread very carefully on some of those things, but we absolutely want to participate in the conversations, the encouragement of trying to do some of those things.
Okay.
So I expect the dialogue, you know, will move forward on what some of the possibilities are with that.
Great, I appreciate that.
Anybody else have anything else they want to add?
Well, you know, there was a water quality study done on Richmond Lake back, how many years ago?
It was quite a while, it'd have been,
It's
like
probably-
2003 or 4, somewhere
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
probably been 19, 20 years ago, there was actually a water quality study done, and I don't know if there's any follow-up or, you know, anything that, but you can actually look that up, you can Google that and look that up, and, but anyway, well, it was actually a week ago today, or in the afternoon, we got caught in that rain north of Richmond Lake, and I tell you what, the way the water came over the roads, and not only just, but where you're at,
Yeah.
but up above,
Yeah.
and I guess I, being pretty much in the cattle business, sometimes get a little annoyed by the implication that the cattle are responsible for potential pollution of the lakes and stuff, because literally the water coming out of the fields that have been just freshly sprayed or fertilizer, and that, I mean, it was like Niagara Falls in a couple of
It was.
spots up there.
It really was.
Coming into Richmond Lake, so it was kind of an unusual event.
And I'm not blaming
Yeah.
the farmer, just
Yeah.
to be clear.
Yeah, and there was
the storm.
there was a program and it could be an ongoing program, I'm not sure, through NRCS and FSA to build, because I'm pretty sure that the farmers that you're talking about, I'm pretty sure they've got a lagoon there, and that probably overflowed too. I wouldn't be a bit surprised, but that probably went
The
over.
one thing, though, is that when did we have the major flood? Was it '06 or '08?
So,
'07, okay, I knew it was in there, but I call it the Cinco de Mayo flood. 'cause
that's the
yeah,
day.
it was May 5th, I remember that.
Yep.
That was the last time that we had big water over the road that I can remember, and our trees on our property were even underwater. And then I think there was water maybe once over the road in between that time,
Well, the
if I
water level of
recall.
the lake was much higher as a result of that.
Yeah.
I remember
But
that.
the thing of it is, if you go north and west, the amount of drainage that's been done up there,
Uh-huh.
cutting out the township road ditches, and, I mean, just unbelievable, the amount of water
Yeah.
that's flushed into Richmond Lake from further northwest, and I mean, it's a big problem, there's no question about it, and there is some concern about definitely some concern about the water quality, I don't think
Yes,
there's any
I
question about
think there
that.
is some concern on the water quality, and like I said, when my husband got blisters, obviously, we
Yeah.
were concerned about the water quality.
So I don't know, if, I would say Department of...
And 20 years is a long time to reassess, have that reassessment as well, so maybe it is time to reassess some of that.
And I don't know how NRCS...
I don't know how to,
I don't know how
go about
NRCS
that.
might get involved. That might be one approach, and then Department of Environment and Natural Resources in Pierre too.
I have spoken with them, they're not interested at this point. I think it needs to go up the chain of command.
Dirk, you have a comment?
The surface water program at, whatever that new department is, DNR,
I have spoken with them, yes.
well, that's what it is, and you'll get that response initially a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
If we were gonna go, if I was gonna do this, and this is just my opinion, is I'd contact them and almost in the same vein that you're talking here,
Mhm.
because of the weather event, that's exacerbated, your concerns about the water quality.
Mhm.
I would go at it from the water quality standpoint first, and to me, that's your thing. Now, those
If
programs.
you walk on that base of that bay,
Yep.
it is just, it's not bedrock, it's not sand, it's mush.
Yep. That's why corn grows good here, but it's a
It's
terrible place to
complete-
build stuff.
It's complete mush.
But
yeah.
anyway, that to me
Yeah.
is who would regulate that, and I saw in the paper recently, I didn't read it in detail, but they were already putting out fish consumption warnings on some of the area lakes, and I didn't see what why that was coming on, so.
Yeah, was that through Game Fish and Park?
Yeah, they had said that, and then, of course, they have a
Okay.
facility, that might be another outlet, because they have a facility and a swimming beach there, so they probably have some, I'm stretching here, but they probably have some interest in what
But
people are
even
swimming
up
into.
the drainage area, there were several farmers up the line that actually had put in lagoons, quite a few of them. And they were funded through either NRCS or FSA, and that was probably back, and probably had to do with the water quality study and the Richmond Lake water quality study. And those lagoons were put in further north for holding that sediment and what you're concerned about. But, I mean, a deal like what happened last Tuesday afternoon, they ran over.
Well, in our bay, I have to just say that it's either feast or famine, because we can have no water or too much.
Mhm.
But if we got that sediment cleaned out of the bottom of the bay, we'd probably be okay most of the time. It's because of the sediment that
Right.
a lot of times we have not enough
Yep.
and can't even park our boat.
So I want to say thank you for bringing that to our attention.
Sure.
We'll continue to work on that. I would encourage you to cultivate a good relationship with the landowner.
Yeah, we do
To
have
find
one.
things
We
mutually
do
beneficial.
communicate with him
Yeah.
as well. And I wasn't picking on the landowner.
No, I understand that. It's
Yeah.
just water flows downhill, and
Mhm.
that's part and parcel of what goes
Mhm.
there. But I would encourage you to
Yeah.
continue to have a good, respectful dialogue and
We do.
relationship with him to
Mhm.
try and figure out what we can do mutually to try and mitigate the issue.
His wife hugged me at Pulse the other day, is that okay?
Yes, indeed.
So I think we're okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
One other quick
Yeah,
thing.
Dennis.
I don't think, I'm quite sure that the Richmond Lake Sanitary Sewer District probably has no authority whatsoever
No.
over what you're talking about. But on the same, I don't know if there could be some kind of a organization or something formed out there that might,
We have, but what is my next step? That's what I want to know. I brought it to you. Are you going to facilitate this forward, or is that my job?
That's gonna be Richmond Lake's job.
Okay, because, yeah, that hasn't worked in 17 years that I've lived there. So
Mhm.
at this point, I need you guys to help me facilitate one more step so we can move this forward, whether it's with James Valley or what were you mentioning? I should have been
Yeah.
taking notes.
No, the
but
James River Water Valley.
James River Water,
Yeah.
something
Has a
like that.
potential to have a look
I
at it
just
to
need
see what
to,
might-
I need to know where do we go next? This is great conversation, but action plan.
Mhm.
Well, I don't believe the county has any authority, much like the James River would have more authority than we would, because they're kind of in charge of our waterways. You know, we as a county don't have really control of Elm Lake, Richmond Lake, Mina Lake. So I think James River is probably the best source to start with, and I think Mike, I don't know if you
Yeah.
can bring that something to them in behalf of
Maybe
her, or
CC
she has to
on
be there,
it.
or what.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I can let the director
Something
know
like
that
that.
next time he's up here to have a conversation and just go out and look at the potential to see what there might be for.
If you wouldn't mind, like, maybe facilitating an email so that I know who to contact,
Okay.
something like that. Maybe you can call him and ask him if that's okay.
I got
Yeah,
one other
go ahead.
comment. Well, the thing that's interesting to me is, that the cattle producers actually got put in a position through NRCS and FSA to put in lagoons and to hold their waste. And then an event that happened a week ago Tuesday, they flooded over. But yet at the same time, we've got lax enforcement on drainage from the fields, and those are flushing in, and there's nothing holding that water. They open that up and let it go, and at the same time, they've got the holding ponds or lagoons to hold the feedlot or the livestock. So you got two things going on there that are, kind of hypothetical, and that's an issue too, so.
And one of my neighbors even said, I hope my boat motor doesn't get blown from all the corn stalks that are in the lake when I start it. I mean, you just don't know what to expect when
Well,
you have that much
I'll reach out
there.
to the director for James River Water, and I'll
Okay.
CC you on that, and
Okay.
ask him to
Thank you.
at least make contact with us if there's any possibility.
Yeah, just, where
Okay.
do we start?
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough. All
Okay,
right, we'll be in
thank you.
touch. Thanks for
All
being
right,
with us.
have a good day, I'm gonna go vote.
Appreciate you, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, oops.
Sorry.
Anyone else for opportunity for public comment this morning?
Thank you.
Carl Perry?
I could give you one quick one, and that is this week Thursday at 10 o'clock in the morning in Pier, we will have the first regional jail and correction plan meeting, and we have 4 people that I know of from Brown County that'll be there. Myself as a representative, and then Al Norstrup as a senator, and also Mike Roll as a senator. And then Mike Weiss is doing a presentation, and I'm not sure if we have other people, but I think that's really going to be important for this area to be able to have a better idea of what that is. Somebody said, how big is it? What about this? I said, that's why we're having the meeting, so that we can determine some of those things, so.
Thank you, Carl. Go ahead.
I think on June 27th at 10 o'clock, the property tax task force is going to meet, and I noticed that I don't think any of the local legislators are on that committee, and I think that's kind of a sad situation, because Brown County, like all counties, depend very, very heavily in the school districts on property tax. And we've got great representation on the jail task force, but where's the representation on the property tax force? And I don't know if I'm gonna have time. I haven't been in the Capitol since the day I walked out of there as a legislator, but on this one I might go down, because if what happens, if they reduce property tax on owner-occupied property, or for that matter, even the push to take it off of owner-occupied, wow, they're gonna have to replace funding education with something. And so my point is, it's just too bad that we don't have some local representation on that property
On
tax
this committee,
force.
but we'll definitely want to be part of the conversation.
Just for a piece of information, all right, it's not that the people locally never asked to be on the committee, because you can ask till you're blue in the face, but it is not decided by all of us. It's not decided by Brown County. It is decided by, in this case, it was Spencer Gosh. And what he ends up doing is he'll get like 60 different people that want to be on the various different committees.
I know how it works.
And I want to be on 3 of them, because I said I'd be on juvenile justice, because I think that's a critical thing for this area. And I also said the regional jails, I'm the prime for the regional jail bill, so that we have this. And then the other one was for property tax. I think that's extremely important. But, and I called after I found out that I wasn't on the other 2 committees, and they said we can only spread it so far, and that's why. So Dennis, it's not that we don't want to participate, it's that they will not allow us to participate at all times.
Well, when you've got 3 local legislators on juvenile, on the jail task force, coming out of this region, and nobody on property tax, there's something wrong with some thinking somewhere along the line.
Well, they don't agree with your thinking, but they think that they're thinking
Yeah,
correctly.
leadership doesn't necessarily agree with mine either, so. Okay, any other public comments this morning? Thank you for that. Next item on the agenda, bid opening entertainment consultants. I assume that's you, Rachel? Good morning.
Morning.
Thanks for being with us this morning.
Absolutely. Taking time. If you guys will remember, this was the 3-year contract for the folks that'll help us get our entertainment in 23, 24, 25 for the grandstand. Notice, do you want me to read it? Do you want me to read the notice and stuff, or just?
Will your feet, please, yes.
Okay. Notice is hereby given that sealed bids will be received in the chamber of the Brown County Board of Commissioners at the Brown County Courthouse Annex, 25 Market Street, Suite 1, Aberdeen, South Dakota, until the hour of 8:45 a.m. on June 7th, 2022. At said time and place, all bids will be publicly opened, read, and considered by the Brown County Board of Commissioners for project entertainment consulting and buying services for the grandstand entertainment years 2023, 4, and 5 at the Brown County Fair located on the Brown County Fairgrounds, 400 24th Avenue, Northwest Aberdeen, South Dakota.
Thank
Looks
you.
like, yeah, looks like we've got 3. was a little nervous because yesterday morning we didn't have any.
How many bids did you get?
Three.
Three.
Just three.
That's the way it works with any event.
Exactly.
5 minutes to
I
showtime, where is everybody? And then boom, they all show
Yeah,
up.
exactly. And just for reference, these were the 6 I had sent out to, on top of it being advertised, as we always do. I sent them a reminder Friday, wanted to get as many as we could. First one here is Pepper Entertainment. So they're giving information on their past performance record.
Where are they out of?
They, Minneapolis and Sioux Falls they've got, but yeah, primarily Sioux Falls for our region. Service fees, so year 1 is 8% of the total talent fees. So that'd be like, for every 100,000, they get 8,000 of what we book, I think. In our RFP, we had kind of requested that folks give us just a hard number. You guys can see that here.
Yep, I recall.
Because then it's a lot easier to budget for. This was the RFP sheet. So it's year 1, 8% of total talent fees, year 2, 9% of total talent fees, year 3, 10% of total talent fees. Pepper willing to cap talent buying fee at $30,000 annually. Annual percentage fee includes on-site representative at no additional cost. Brown County Fair to provide a minimum of 1 night lodging for on-site representatives. And that's pretty typical. We usually do have somebody from the company here on-site for the, at minimum, the 4 nights of concert. And then they have some letters of recommendation here as well.
So they're capping out at 30,000 then, is the max that you
Yep.
can actually charge.
Yep.
For all
And
3
ref-
years?
What's that?
I'm sorry, for all 3 years?
Yeah.
Annual.
And for reference, currently, the last 3 years, we paid $22,000, $24,000, and now $26,000 for the current year. Second one is Romeo Entertainment. They are out of both Omaha and Nashville. They give information on their history, relationships with others, what venues they do, marketing support, references, cost proposal. So option 1, sum for 2023 would be $29,000 plus expenses. 2024, $31,000 plus expenses. 25, $33,000 plus expenses. So for a 3-year contract of $93,000 plus expenses. That's option 1. And the expenses are defined as travel, lodging, and meals for the entertainment consultant service representative only at the event. Option 2, sum for services in 2023 is $15,000 plus they'd get $1 for every ticket sold. 24 would be $17,000 plus $1 per ticket sold. 25 would be $19,000 plus $1 for every ticket sold, for a 3-year total of $51,000 plus $1 per ticket sold. And in this option 2, they would cover their own costs for travel, lodging, and meals for the consultant. And third option,
Big proposal.
That's how we roll. It's all we can afford at county government is a free Dakota Day, right?
I'll bet we got another one floating around here.
Yeah. Oh, we got 3 envelopes in the one, that's what we got.
There you go.
Guessing they're all just... Maybe they just wanted to make sure it got here.
There's a bigger weapon in my drawer.
Who's this?
Winterset concert event. They look to
proposal
be.
for each year, or?
No, they look to be the same. It says request for proposals for year 23, 24, 25.
Three copies.
Yep. Randy Merrill, president.
And they're out of,
They are out of Old Hickory, Tennessee. I believe they used to do South Dakota State Fair. Past president, South Dakota Association of Fairs and Celebrations. Members of these organizations. Let's see if I can tell you. List of artists, oh, here we go. The following letters of reference from some of their event clients: South Dakota State Fair, Impact Entertainment, Central State Fair, Black Hill Stock Show and Rodeo, Sweetwater Events Complex, Sweetwater County Fair, Rough Rider Days. With the majority of the events that we represent, we have been compensated 10% of the artist's negotiated fee. With a few other events, we have been on a fixed fee basis ranging from $22,500 to $60,000. I got letters of recommendation. Here we go. Cost proposal. In addition to the fee for the 3-year entertainment consultant position, we request the event provide lodging, meals, 4 guest passes per day, and the use of a golf cart provided by the fair while on the grounds. Cost for services in 2023 is $20,000. Cost for services in 2024 is $20,000. Cost for services in 2025 is $25,000. So just,
What goes in addition to that? Travel, lodging, and expenses for staff, is that?
yep, lodging, meals, 4 guest passes per day, and the use of a golf cart on the ground.
it was 20, 20, and 25?
20, 20, and 25.
No percentage or ticket.
No. But it does say in addition to the fee for the 3-year position, so I don't know what that means. In addition to what fee? If there's something in the fine print, so.
Do we have to defer these so you can look
I would,
over and?
that would be my recommendation. Fair Board meets tomorrow, and when I get back to the office, I'm gonna send these to our entertainment committee so that they can review them and make a recommendation to Fair Board, and then they can come back to you with one on Tuesday, if that's all right.
Say, it looks like you got some site work to do.
Yeah.
I would move to defer.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second to defer for review and recommendation. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rachel.
Yeah, see you next week.
Look forward to
You have
your
that other-
consideration.
that other-
With all their names on?
She's got it.
Oh, okay.
She does that, so.
That's all right. We'll have more.
Maybe you should take that.
Yeah, thank you, Rachel, have a good day.
Yeah, see ya.
I would, but we're on it.
Highway right away, I assume that's Dirk Rogers. You're late again.
I know. Well, they've got this new deal where there's no times on the damn list, so you just gotta come up here and hope that they
Be
find
prepared
time for you.
Be prepared for anything, right?
Would you like to be under public comment?
Sure.
See, that would get you there quicker.
It probably would.
Good morning.
Howdy. This is 3 right-of-ways, they're for Northern Valley, and it's just continuation of that same big giant project where they've been updating everything, and this stuff's all down in the southwest corner here. You're gonna be doing,
I haven't been down there in the last week or two. Wet, dry, what are we doing down there?
it's wet, it's not as bad as this,
Okay,
and I'll touch on that a little bit in the,
okay.
let's do the right-of-ways first.
Just curious.
You wanna do them as a blanket, or got? to be
Yeah,
individual?
these are all in about the same spot, so. The first one runs from county line to right here, those 4 miles, 5 miles. And then it picks up again at Road 6. For whatever reason, it doesn't go all the way through there, and goes over to right there, on the other side, right by,
Sure.
where 10 and 14 quit being, 14 where we milled it up this next mile. So it comes to there.
Does it cross 281?
Yep.
Okay.
It, it crosses right through there, so.
Mhm.
So that's that one. Basically, it's 27, minus 1 mile there and 1 mile there. This is on Road 2 from the county line coming up here, 2 miles. Just to there. Excuse me, I was pointing at 6, just to there. And the last one here is on Road 6, I believe.
It's down in that corner.
Yeah, it's coming up Road 6 about, I think 4 miles. No, just 1 mile. This is the first mile on 6. So first mile on 6, first 2 miles on 2, and 27. It's basically what it was. I'd recommend for approval.
Move it.
Second. A motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign, motion
How are you?
carries.
Good, how are you doing? I'm doing well. I get nervous when, the state's attorney shows up at the commission meeting when I'm there.
Here all the time.
Well, usually it's Ross, and that's like...
Yeah.
Big guns today.
So you get nervous,
Perpetual.
What are you guilty of, huh?
Yeah.
So look into it.
All right, so I
See
don't-
what you should be nervous about.
Just because you're
That
paranoid
way the
doesn't mean
department
they're not out to
update.
get you.
Is that what's next?
Yep.
Yeah. Just a few things we're doing. They're still working on, down on 23, I don't know if you remember, when we started that, I'd hoped we could go in there and fluff up a couple areas before they went over it. Well, one of the areas we did not get to blew up, so, we'll get it fixed and get on with our lives, but hasn't happened in a few years, right in the middle of a new project, to have something blow up, but it's, just a soft spot that we didn't get to ahead of time, so I'll start hauling stuff over it. It's gonna come apart, but, I'll get cleaned up today, it should be fixed tomorrow, and I think first part of next week, probably by the end of the week, they should be done. I don't know if it'll be striped yet, but everything else, road should be done. We're still running around chasing every plug, culvert, bad drainage thing has reared its ugly head. But that's kinda occupying, we're getting a few culverts replaced and doing a little bit of flood stuff, and it's a lot of dig outs and just small scale drainage stuff. I don't know if you've seen Dakota Street, we milled that up and put a little gravel in there, it came out pretty nice. We're gonna prime it, and then we'll see what happens with trying to work something out with the city going forward on it, but the way it was, regardless, I don't like putting money into it, but it was getting to the point we can't leave it like it was. It's getting pretty tough. Hopefully we'll get that primed this week as well. I'm gonna be out of town at the summer meeting the rest of the week, so I figure we'll shoot oil close to town, so I don't have to be here.
So Dakota Street, is there any chance of all the cities willing to?
I wanna be careful how I represent that, Doug, with the eye in the sky going, but yes.
Ongoing discussion.
Yeah, it's got more momentum than it has in the past, let me put it that way, and I think there is a long end game vision, it's just, at what point do we get there and things like that.
Government moving exceedingly slow.
Yeah, the wheels of government just don't turn as fast as you want them to sometimes, right? So that's all, we got that, we're gonna try to get the paving going, I'm gonna end up farming out a little more of the paving than I planned on, but no big deal, we got a little more of a hiccup with the water situation than I thought, which I'll segue to that. Boy, this morning, we were hoping to be able to open the gates up, but not quite. The Jim River's 12 inches from the top, and the Crow is 14 inches from the top. The Crow's come up significantly, the last couple weeks.
And they're pushing one through the gym too, but it
Yeah.
takes time to get here.
But, and the gym, that's been hanging around at a foot, 15 inches, it's probably as close to, as maxing as it's gonna be. I didn't look at the gauges, but, we did a little rip wrapping up there and everything's holding. We haven't lost Road 18, which I always debate how big a loss Road 18 is anyway at that end of it, but, I don't know, we're hanging in there for right now, but that berm is the Crow Creek one's the one that protects 18. The Jim River, after what we fixed, seems to be holding pretty good. But we're it's just absolutely full to the brim up there.
Mhm.
How are things going south towards Mansfield? That's gotta be filling now too.
Yeah,
It's gotta be because, Foot Creek is absolutely plumbed. It just seems like Foot Creek keeps coming up too. I mean, it's not.
Oh, yeah, well, that's the earlier discussion we were having in here about the water. I mean, that's the most I've seen the Foot Creek run, or the go to the spillway. You know, spillway's been going pretty good there for a
Unbelievable.
couple of weeks now.
Well, it's gotta be pushing down because that can't get into the Mog.
No, and
I'm surprised the Mog isn't back more into Aberdeen too than it is.
It's been up and down quite a bit in the last several weeks. Just-
well, and the thing what helps with the Mog is when the elm, the timing of when the water comes out of the elm is actually, I mean, this is just my hillbilly hydrology, okay, but the water that comes out of, the elm, that stops everything. So when it goes over the elm spillway and that goes down to the gym just takes the time out because no more water's going anywhere until the elm's done running. And fortunately, that happened early enough between that and them taking out the berms up there, which was almost a problem, but it worked out okay. You know what I mean? So that pushed that way up. If we were trying to do all that at the same time, dump the elm in there, then you would have had the overtop in that Ordway, and the Mog would have been a mess. The stuff down the river bottoms completely, you go down to like Stratford, all that thing's full up to the bottom of the bridges and the roads again, and so it's moving through and it's doing what it's supposed to do, but she's full. Everything's full. So. How's that?
Could be better, could be worse.
Yeah.
We're keeping an eye on it and doing what we can.
We just don't need a 10-inch rain up by the elm.
No. No. Oh,
Did you just say that?
we're trying to get, we're getting dangerously close to bidding that. When I'm in Pure this week, I wanna stop over to School and Public Lands and just check a couple boxes before we, start spending money on it.
I had
But
a call yesterday, and someone wanting to know.
when they go fishing.
Well, yeah, they wanted to
Yeah.
go fishing, they wanted to know how they were supposed to get over to the west side. I said, just have patience, it's coming.
Well, and there's a component of, I've gotta get the details of it, but they haven't got all the riprap done on the auxiliary spillway yet because they're waiting for the road to get put in there, so, but we're closer, so.
And you might want to touch base with Scott quick too, because I know he communicates with them pretty regularly about the status of the issue. Emergency management.
Mike. I just visited with him this morning about, the railroads, state line railroad's gonna open up a couple pipes that are plugged and be ready for what that's gonna do, but,
Yeah.
so,
Okay.
okay.
He's got a pretty good working relationship.
Oh, you're saying with the,
The
yeah,
dam, with the dams and stuff too,
Yep.
so.
all right. Everybody good?
So, just have them keep an eye on the weather so we don't, put a bunch of oil down when it's wet.
Yeah. We got plenty of
As you
barricades.
know.
So, yeah. All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Travel
Have a
safe.
have a good conference.
I will.
Have a
I'll
good
come back
week.
with a full report.
Excellent.
Thanks.
All right, next item is consent calendar items. Approval of general meeting minutes from May 31st, 2022. As presented.
Move. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Claims and payroll.
Move. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. HR report.
Move. Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Same sign, motion carries. Letter of support for Northern State University grant application. Packet.
Move it.
Have a motion
Second.
and a second. Any further?
Is that an ongoing thing that we,
They need would like letters of support from regional.
and it's an annual thing kinda, isn't it,
Yeah.
that we have to do every year? I guess that was where I was kinda wondering, is just,
Yeah.
it seems to me we've done it in the past, I was just
Yep,
verifying.
yep, absolutely. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Leases.
Move. Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Any other business to come before the board? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion for executive session per state statute for contracts and personnel, I believe. Is that correct?
Move. Second.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We are in exec. Thank you. We are out of exec, no action taken. Anything else to come before the board? I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move. Second.
It worked.
We think we have a new protocol. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We are adjourned. Thank you all very much. Have a good day.